trees in the backwoods night. Red lights cutting through the pine in flight. Bigfoot stomping with his youngling beard. Whispers of tales that ain't too clear. UFOs buzzing solo through the haze. Howling banshees set the forest ablaze. Jersey devil howls drink rays to the sky. Drunken cryptids party until the morning's night. It's showtime, running wild in the moonlight. Stars burn down, watch the freaks all take flight.
To good times.
Raise your glasses to the mysteries divine. It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. I'm your host, Matthew Orton, and I got to give a quick shout out to blademedia.com. Thank you, Dylan, for all the hard work you've done on the website and the logo. You guys, he did the logo for the show. Looks amazing. Go check him out. He's a local business. Anything you need done on social media, on the multimedia, whatever it is, get a hold of Dylan. He'll take care of you. That's BLAYED media.com. I always want to do the old .com commercial. Remember that .com? So smile, Mike. It's okay to smile.
It's the mustache. You just can't see it.
Okay. So I get that. You have a nice mustache, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's like you trimmed it down. You have to take care of all that.
Well, I wanted people to see my mouth move while I was at the roast the other night.
We'll start off talking about that, and then we'll jump into. But also, you guys, quick announcements. We are gonna be at the. Okay, there is another event that just popped up that I've been invited to, put on by the Arkansas Bigfoot Cartel in April. March. Keep check the Facebook page, you guys. It'll be there. I will be speaking at the Paradise Pizza there in Ozark. We'll be doing an expedition that weekend as well. People are more than welcome to come out, check it out. More information for that to come. So, yeah, pay attention to the Facebook page there. And, of course, the Arkansas Cryptid Fest, the first one put on by yours truly. Not that I'm nervous about this at all, but I'm excited. I've already got the VIP speakers lined up. I've already got other guest speakers lined up, you guys. Tickets for the VIP section are for sale. Check out the Eventbrite that we have on the Facebook page and in the show notes as well. So please do that. And, of course, I got to say thank you to the team behind me. I appreciate it, Tommy. And wouldn't be here right now if it was for you. And, of course, Chris, the rest of you guys, y'all are in on it. Love you guys. Appreciate it. But, of course, I got to mention, we do have a Buy Me a Coffee. We do have a Patreon. So please check those out. Check out what tiers work for you and go into that one. And, of course, if you've had an encounter like my new friend Mike and you want to come on the show, email me, drunkencryptids@gmail.com. Or follow us on your social media platforms and shoot me a message. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get you going. So, but Mike, how the hell are you?
Sir. I'm doing good. Having a great night.
Well, thanks for coming on last minute. I had to reschedule, and you happened to message me perfect time for it. So I do want to say thank you very much for coming on short notice. But we did talk on Sunday, so we'll talk a little bit about that before we get into your encounter. Okay. Me and Mike have a mutual friend, a little local celebrity here in Arkansas, Angry Patrick Beam. And he officially, I don't believe him, retired this past weekend. And we were lucky enough to have been invited to be part of a very talented panel of roasters. And I remember you and me looking at each other going, I have no idea. This is like, I don't do comedy. I do, but it's not the kind that should be done in front of an audience,
Yeah. Bad jokes to your friends and dirty jokes to everybody else.
Pretty much.
I've been showing my ass forever, so.
It works. But no, we had a good time. It was a lot of fun hanging out and doing it. It was my first time kind of doing any kind of stand-up. And the best compliment that I got from anybody was the owner of the place when he said, never do this again.
Isn't he he's a congenial man, isn't he?
He is. Yeah, that was the best
nice
compliment. Yeah, best compliment of the night was when At the end, he said, "Please never come and do that again."
You
And
got recognized.
I did get recognized for never trying that again. I thought I was funny, but
I
hey,
thought you were too. You had a great bit, especially for just doing it off the tip of your tongue.
yeah, I had to. I mean, that's what I thought we were just going to do is crack jokes. And then I get there and everyone's like, yeah, I got, y'all had like phones and notes. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh crap, I'm going to bomb. I mean, I almost told Rich, take me off. You forgot about me in the intro. Just don't even mention me at all.
It's everybody teased him about that. We have a private thing, private message, all of us in the background, and we teased him so hard about that. Andy especially. Andy's
Good.
the one that told him, "Did you forgot Drunken Cryptids."
He did. I was
That's
sitting
the
there the whole
turkey.
entire time going, okay, I'm next. Nope. Okay, maybe I'm not. Okay, maybe the order's screwed up. So, but no, Rich was nervous too, though. And a lot of us were, but it was fun, and it was to honor a good friend.
Well, I was jittery. I was sitting there, but see, I remember back in the day when I put on rock shows with local musicians. I had that butterfly feeling, and I was just sitting there, and I had a couple of Jaeger bombs, and then I started getting the butterflies, and everybody started rolling in, and I just had uh, an eating grin, and I was sitting there grinning. I thought to myself, well, I'm just sitting there like an idiot grinning to myself. And I got to go thank Patrick because I forgot what this felt like. I was just having such a good time. It's like nobody was even talking to me. I was just standing there watching everybody else.
That's kind of
It
how
was
I felt
great.
too. Yeah, I was hanging out with the dads. Dads after dark. They were sitting right
They're
there
great
beside
guys.
me, and they were super nice. I seen them. I caught their show a few times. However, but being able to sit with them, and I think we're going to try and do a collaboration. I think I'm going to go down there, hang out with them for one of their shows. And maybe, bring my equipment as well, and maybe we'll do something and have a good time. But super nice guys, and it was, for me, I do cryptids and I do ghosts, and that's what I talk about all the time. Even when I was going on Patrick's show, I give my opinion on music, but I was really never in the pop culture, so I had a hard time breaking down the pop culture, like, what did Beyonce do last night or what was reported
Yeah,
in the news. And I was like going, I have no clue,
yeah.
you know?
I don't care anymore either.
No, I
It's
mean,
just what am I going to do? I that it would require much more effort than it puts for me to just do what I do daily, and enjoy myself. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm
But
just not
man, but
into it.
Patrick was all over. I mean, Patrick was good. So I think he'll be back, and enough about you and me being nervous on stage. Let's get into, so we were talking a little bit, when we first met, when we shook hands, and you told me some brief encounters briefly, you just kind of summarized them, that you've had.
Yeah. Well, let me preface. I grew up in a little community called Avila. It's halfway between Benton and Ferndale, and in fact, it turns into Ferndale Cutoff, a Villa West and a Villa East. And there's a lake out there called Lake Norrell. And I grew up 2 miles from Lake Norrell. It's 10 miles from Benton, and 2 miles from the Villa Grocery there at the crossroads. So when we moved out there, it was 1970. So there was literally a log cabin in between the Villa Grocery and our house. There was a log cabin and an older couple that lived there in the middle of a field, and a couple offshooting roads, and maybe two other houses. And that was it. There was no one else out there. And you go all the way to Lake Norrell. Lake Norrell was a dirt road. Lake Norrell was a dirt road from Pleasant Hill Church on. And so it was all woods, old growth timber too. And we saw things. I can remember being really young and my mom being scared looking outside, and we had a night light. Like when we moved our home in there, a man hooked it up to a bulldozer and bulldozed his way to the top of the hill and the top of a ridge in the middle of the woods out in the back. and then turned around and then bulldozed the driveway on the way out. And there was no one else. And this was at the top of a place called Pleasant Hill. There's ridge. All a bunch of ridges that come together, and then forest. And my mother was standing in the doorway of our mobile home, looking out at the light. And I went. I can remember I was probably waist high, so I was probably about 4 or 5. And I saw a black panther. And I saw all kinds of strange things out. We saw things out there that's crazy. Now, other people might tell you they saw a monkey. That was my pet monkey. Uh, but he got loose quite a bit, and he caused a big stir out there in the 70s.
Hold on. You had a pet monkey?
We had a Capuchin monkey.
No kidding.
Yeah, he was pretty cool too. Yeah.
Okay, it's funny. Okay, one, it's funny that you mentioned that. Okay, so here's the thing. Justin and Jay, who run the Cryptids of the Corn podcast, Justin brought up a show. It was last year, and I was kind of on the same page with it. We were looking at escaped wildlife from like the old circuses on trains. You know, they would have the train come through, there'd be a circus, and it would have a train wreck, and the animals would escape. And now people who live in Ohio are seeing a giraffe, and
Yeah.
there's not supposed to be a giraffe in Ohio. So I think that for some encounters, people are seeing, i.e., your pet monkey.
Yeah.
You know,
There were people talking about it at the Mercantile, the hardware store. It was like at the crossroads up there I was just talking about. Yeah, there were people talking about it. He would get out and just cause hell, and he wasn't that tall, you know.
yeah, they're not that big.
But man, he could cause hell. 4 hands that could jump 12 foot in the air and run around your room in the middle of the walls. He was crazy. He was crazy. But yeah, it's things like the Panther. Here's about the time. It's probably 1978, 77. We were playing Pong. It was the console Pong. My best friend's older brother worked for Texas Instruments, and he always had the cool thing before everybody else had satellite dish, laser disc thing. He had it before everybody else. Computers, whatever. And because he was a computer repairman, he made a whole lot of money. And we're sitting there playing Pong, and they lived in a mobile home. And you know how mobile homes were in the 70s with the big square window, no slats or nothing. And if you didn't have a curtain on it and it was night, it was a black hole. So we're sitting there playing Pong, and the light is on, and we're all just paying attention to that. And I saw something, and I looked up at that window, and it was Harry from Harry and the Hendersons. Looked exactly like that. Big head, looking in the window, just peering in the window at us, watching us play Pong. And it kind of like, and took off when we looked at it. And it freaked us kids out. That's all of us, even the older ones. We all saw it. So I know it wasn't something I was just seeing. Okay. That was the first encounter. And about 2 years later, that same guy whose house we were at had a dog named Fuzz. And Fuzz was constantly looking for a snake. And he would find a snake and he would bark, 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 or a squirrel, and he would bark, bark. And that dog ain't going to shut up until someone comes and sees the squirrel or the snake. Usually he had to kill the snake because Fuzz wasn't going to accept nothing else. Well, he's down this. They had a road to the bottom of the hill that ended up at the National Forest, which I forgot, they clear cut all around Lake Norrell. International Paper did right before this. They were still at the same time. They were still had their helicopters with the bucket dropping fire and just burning randomly. They just knocked everything over. And it was all oak trees. It was beautiful forest. It still to this day makes me angry. All around Lake Norrell was big giant oak trees. I mean, and they were beautiful. white oaks. And anyway, um, so we saw a lot of things, and we saw stuff out of the corner of our eye, heard things running around. We didn't know, but we knew there was no woods there anymore, and we had maybe an acre of woods in between our home and that, and all of the houses on that ridge. Well, this dog was barking and barking and barking. So all of us kids were playing, and we were young teens, and so we walked on down the hill, and we saw the dog, but he's barking at this tree. He had something treed. We look up the tree, didn't see it, and I swear I don't know why or how we didn't see it first, because it was level with us downhill. The tree, he was about 20 feet up a tree, and it saw us, and this was like a malnourished basketball player, that tall and lanky and skinny, wearing a fur suit, and it was dark, like brown, and it jumped out of that tree, and it was 5 steps gone out into the clear cuts. And I guess all of us kind of knew that they were there the whole, as we none of us were ever surprised when we saw these things. And this is the same group. I'm talking from young age. These stories all happen with the same people. Um, so except for this one, and that was the one that Fuzz treed. So I'm probably this is another year later. We had bicycle trails everywhere that we went, and so the whole neighborhood kids had a network of them. And so you know how when you're walking along the edge of the woods and there's a big clearing, how the trees will make a canopy, but right on the other side of them leaves, it's open
Yeah.
woods, and you can't see in them woods because there's a canopy there. So I'm walking, and in my mind, it's telling me there's a guy wearing a lumberjack outfit. I like a plaid, red and black plaid flannel is what I saw it, out of the corner of my eye, through like little holes in the leaves, and it's
Yeah.
walking on the other side of the canopy right beside me, 15 feet from me. And we're walking, and I'm kind of like looking like that, and I couldn't hear it. It was soft, whatever well, I know what it was, but we come to a spot where there's nothing in between our faces, and this damn thing, it went at the same time I went, and then it took off, and it was completely gone. Uh, but I also took off too. It scared it scared the bejesus. I mean, I got goosebumps right now from it, thinking about it. But yeah, that scared the crap out of me. Uh, that was the last time I saw. I only saw three, and I can maybe the first one and the last one might have been the same creature, but there's no way that the one that was in the tree was one of those, because these guys were big and had giant thick heads. That thing was Mount Elijah one in a fursuit. It was strange.
Well, so let me ask you real quick. So when you were going, the third encounter, and you said were you seeing red flannel through the trees or no?
No, I didn't. It's my mind trying to reason with what I was perceiving, because it was more of like, I know there's something there. I could feel it, but then you'd see a shadow going, in between the leaves, walking beside me, and then we come to a clearing, and both of us are standing there dumbstruck.
Right. No, okay, yeah. Well,
And that's what scared me, because they usually hide or go away when we'd see them. But and you couldn't really put down that's what that was. But these three times, definitely that's what that was. That
right.
was that was Harry and the Hendersons' Bigfoot. I don't Whoever did that movie saw Bigfoot. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and the movie also was helped sponsored by like the Department of like Wildlife or Forestry Service. Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah.
Was it?
Yep.
Uh,
Isn't that funny?
that's
Like
odd.
soft disclosure. Look, here it is. Here it is, guys. So
I swear, the first one I saw his head was as big as that 3x3 window. I mean, it's tall, but yeah, he that was what he looked like, exactly like that.
and the third one as well.
But yes, yeah, yeah. He might have been smaller than that one, because that one had to have been really tall to look in the window of a mobile home, and this other one was just taller than me. So
It's weird.
maybe it was three different ones.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it was. So let's go to the
But
second one. So you said it
okay,
was in the tree, and it came down out of the tree, correct?
it jumped out of the tree laterally.
Right. Now you saw it run through the clearing, so it's that you kept eyes on it running through the
It
clearing.
run through the woods. Probably it took it about 5 steps to make it maybe 50 feet. And then there's a fence line, and then clear cuts.
Okay.
I think probably more than 5 steps. But anyway, it closed that way faster than it was insane how fast this thing moved.
And when did it disappear from your sight?
When it hit when it well it hit the tree line where the fence line was, and then there's clear cuts there, and it just kind of like went over the ridge.
Okay. I was curious because you said it ran through the clear cut, and I was going, did it disappear when it got to the side, or did it disappear into the woods, or
It disappeared into the clear cut. Like we're at a finger ridge, and then there's other ridges coming the other way, and then a big uh, dry creek bed in between the ridges
okay?
at the back of my property and at the back of the clear cuts. There's like a big, well, Caney Creek is what it was.
And yeah, because I know Ferndale Cutoff, so I used to run swans through that area.
Yeah.
So
Well, if you've been through Ferndale Cutoff, then a Villa Grocery, and that's that gas station in the Mercantile there.
yeah, once we were talking Sunday night, I was like, yeah, I remember once you mentioned where it was at, I was like, oh, okay, I remember Ferndale Cutoff. I know where we're at now. So
And Villa West and Villa East.
that's crazy. I love Arkansas. I do. I
Yes, they
love
clear
living
cut
here.
all that, and we saw weird things, man. I saw an ostrich, uh,
I'm sorry, what?
an
In
ostrich. Uh,
Arkansas.
yeah, yeah. Apparently, there was an ostrich and emu farm at
I was
one
about to ask.
time.
Yeah, it had to be a farm. Yeah.
Yeah, out they did it for boots or something. Out, but that that's the only thing. That was the explanation that I was given for when I saw it. Is there used to be an ostrich and emu farm.
It falls back on what I was talking about earlier with your pet monkey. You know, sometimes these animals do escape, and when we encounter them, we're not supposed to see a giraffe in Arkansas, you
No,
know, or a hippo, let's just
or a
be honest.
liger.
Yeah, or a liger,
You heard the story? Have you been to Turpentine Creek and heard the story of their liger, the
No.
giant liger? This thing is a ton, or it's a ton. It's giant. It's there. They have gigantism when a tiger and a lion mate, and somebody brought this lion in the back of his pickup truck and dropped it off there, and they weren't there at Turpentine Creek. And so he just drops it off and takes off. He called and told them he was bringing it. They said don't, and when he got there, they were closed. So he just drops it off. He goes home. This thing made it like 150 miles back to his house. It showed up again. Nobody saw it in between. Imagine how many kids playing that thing passed by.
Yeah.
And then he brought it back again, and he's there now. That's a story that they told when I was there, and he's a giant bastard.
Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can tour it, Turpentine Creek. They have lions and tigers and mountain lions and probably raccoons now. I think and they had bobcats rehabbing animals,
I'm writing
birds,
that.
but they've got hundreds of them. Animals that can't go back in the wild because they were domesticated and commandeered.
Hmm.
There
So
used to
this.
be a big cat place in Haskell, I think, somewhere close to there. But it was just right off the road, and I think they come and got all their stuff too. But he had lions and tigers and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I used to know somebody in Haskell long 20 years ago. So yeah, crazy. I never heard of that. I've only been in Arkansas since 2004. So
You'd be surprised how many big cats and things there are in people's homes.
I,
It's
actually,
insane.
anymore, I probably would not. I'm
Giant
surprised.
apes.
I'm surprised someone doesn't have a Sasquatch hanging out in the house. To be honest with you, I really.
Yeah, that would probably be me.
I'm not gonna lie. If it would be me, he'd be hanging out on the couch drinking a beer right now, trying to watch TV and throwing things at me because I'm recording instead of letting him watch TV.
Yeah,
So
with that one that jumped out of the tree though, the dog didn't chase it. Now that I think about it, that's an odd thing because he would have chased it.
yeah,
He
definitely.
come right straight to us. He was kind
Now
of
that one.
half feral.
Okay, so you said that one was tall and skinny though. It wasn't like bulked up or anything like that at all, right?
No, it was malnourished, like sickly looking.
Did it? I mean, did it resemble though the other two you saw or no?
The other two were kind of reddish brown. This thing was dark brown and long hair.
Longer than the other two.
Yes, yeah,
I
like
mean,
cousin it almost.
wow. Okay, so could you see any facial features or anything?
No, I don't
No.
remember
Okay.
seeing anything like that. I remember seeing its hands. I could tell it had hands,
Okay. Like normal, like hands.
big hands. Yeah,
Wonder what that could be. And maybe a sick one. I don't know.
I don't know. It was totally different. And, and there was no smell. As people say that there's a smell.
There's
Uh,
not always a smell. With me, and I've had one smell, and it smelled like cat poop. No, actually, no, it's two smells. Same night, we had two smells. The first one was it smelled like a skunk had died with something else. I mean, it was. I mean, the skunk part was pretty overpowering with it, but there was another smell. I mean, it was pretty bad. And we're on the front porch, and I looked at the homeowners. They going, "Oh, all right, there's a skunk," and she goes, "No, we get that all the time." And I was sitting there going, "Okay, nope." It smelled like a really dead skunk, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And then the second smell, about an hour later, was in the woods, and it smelled like a litter box. Now that cat poop, overpowering cat
yeah,
poop smell. Yeah, that's what I was like. I even told everybody too, like going, okay, who stepped in cat poop? I didn't call it poop, but I was like, okay.
yeah,
But we were checking the bottom of our boots looking for poop, thinking that we stepped in it. It was just in this one. Okay, no, there's another smell too. This one isolated area. That's all it was. And then a bald knob. When we were up there, all four of us standing there, all of a sudden in the woods, coconut. A female's coconut shampoo. Shampoo has that kind of conditioner has
yeah.
that kind of coconut smell. So we're standing in the woods and we're smelling coconut. And I'm going, we're all smelling the same thing, right? And they was like, yeah, I'm smelling coconut. It smelled like. So I looked
It's
at
weird.
Jacob. Yeah, I looked at Jacob. Go, did you put crap in your hair? And he was like, no. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, because when you go out there, you want to wash everything off of you so you don't contaminate other smells. So yeah, that was the only time I've had any kind of smell, but that was it. And I don't think they always smell per se. I think it could be a musk or it could be a defense mechanism.
That's what I'm thinking. The it could be. A snake puts off pheromones. when you mess with it, and you can smell a rattlesnake if you know what to smell for when they're irritated anyway. Uh, so yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking. Yeah, so that's a strong possibility. And then we had, gardener snakes are the same thing, and they're rancid. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, oh, it takes forever to get it off your hands too when you're holding them.
yeah. My cousin used to like to put that shit on me. So
I love Arkansas.
yeah, he
What?
would catch snakes and chase us down with it and wipe it on us. Crazy ass. That guy, man, he's lucky that I was 10 years younger than him.
Really?
Yeah. Now he's too old and it makes me feel bad.
Ah,
I would feel bad to get revenge on him.
probably put a rubber snake in his bed or something just to get back at him.
Stuff toilet paper in one of the jet drains of his toilet
There you go.
so it won't flush right.
See, do that. That'll work. So, from your first three encounters, what do you think you were looking at? What's your opinion? You're the guy on this. You're the guy on the ground. You're the guy that saw it. I'm not. I don't want to tell you what I think you saw. I want you to tell me what you think you saw. You described it as Harry and the Hendersons, the two of them.
Bigfoot. The first one and the third one where they looked just alike, and it was over a period of probably this 4 years between the two of them. Yeah, I think it was Bigfoot. The other one, I think it was Bigfoot, but another Bigfoot. But he was dark and it was weird. I've never heard of anything like that.
Normally more up north.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the darker color for some reason seems to be more up north.
Yeah. But yeah, this thing was dark. And the first one wasn't at all what I would call blurry because the hair kind of diffuses outlines and stuff. But that second one definitely was so hairy it was blurry, which is why I think all Bigfoots are blurry because all the pictures because they are blurry just to look at them because of their hair. I've got a dog that I call him blurry because I mean his hair is wild and he looks blurry when you look at him. I mean, can't really tell he's a dog most of the time without his eyes.
That's a good. I mean, I like that theory on it with the fur. I've been kicking that around because from being in the military, when you camouflage up, you want to break up your outline so that way you don't stand out when you're trying to camouflage. And I wonder if as you just stated too with the fur, if their fur isn't set up that way. I've talked about this before on the show. There's a series out there called Paranormal Caught on Camera, and this hunter somewhere up north, because it was snowing, was out elk hunting, and he came across one. Snow was coming down, and he sees it, and gets his phone out and he's recording it. And you can see it by a tree, and it's just slowly just kind of going back and just slowly moving like this. And I remember when I saw it, I ended up finding the episode again. I was showing my ex and my kids. I was going, look, you see it. It's right there. And they all three were going, there's nothing there. And I was going, you don't, I mean, it's clearly right there. I had to get up, go to the screen and draw on the screen, where it was at. Then like, oh, we see it now. But it was just right there, just slowly rocking with the tree and the snow coming down. And it appeared blurry. But then he turned around and tried to leave because like, okay, no, this is Bigfoot's area. I'm out. And ran into another one that was doing the same thing. So,
Yeah.
but I like that theory on the blurry though. I really do.
Well, that brings me to Tree Man.
Like, look at that segue.
The Tree Man that we used to see. And this was a constant thing. If you were anywhere in the dark without bright light, but just if there were shadows, you would see these little things, and it literally looked like you scribbled them with circles. They were just a blurry shadow, but you could kind of make out arms and legs, like they were running around, little bitty short things.
Okay.
And they would like duck behind trees or hang from a limb, or it just in the shadows. We the one time that we were actually kind of scared, we had driven. This Caney Creek is down at the bottom of Pleasant Hill, on the way to Lake Norrell from a villa, and uh, we drove through this field. A big hay field. It's still there at the bottom of Pleasant Hill, right next to Caney Creek. And have my friend's van, and we drove all the way to the back of this field to fish on Caney Creek back in the back. We had permission from the landowner and everything when we were kids. And we're sitting probably 30 feet away from the edge, out in the middle of this hayfield. The hay was kind of even with the bottom of the windows of the van. Duh. We were seeing these things, and I swear all of us saw them, and there were so many of them. It was an odd sensation. We were scared of them. We didn't know what was going on. Didn't hear nothing. Didn't bang on the van or anything like that. But you just see them pop up out of the hay, out of the grass, uh, and one would pop up here and then go down, and then over here did one would pop up and go down. It's like they were watching us, but didn't want to be seen, and kind of knew we were looking for them. But yeah, that always happened to us when we were kids, coming home after the street lamp came on. We had one light, and that was when we knew to go home, when that came on. But you just be walking along, and this is the woods, so there's crickets and frogs and birds making all kinds of noise all the time. Occasionally, you'd walk up my driveway, and it would be so still and quiet, eerily, and you could feel something watching you. And I've always wondered what the hell that was. Is it, why, if it was a bobcat or somebody's dog, or even that Black Panther I was talking about, which we had heard several times afterwards. Sounds like a woman screaming at the top of her lungs, but like 90 decibels.
Yeah, it's pretty
That
scary.
that will curl the hair on the back of your neck.
Yes, it
It's, oh
will.
my God. Yeah, that's very scary. But yeah, these little things are just, they're always there, right in the shadows, hiding, looking. But yeah, there's a lot of weird things that happened out of the villa out there. We'd see my dad, we saw maybe what you would think would be a helicopter. It looked just like a helicopter, but no sound. And it just kind of came up to our car and hovered, and then went around here and hovered, and then it was gone. And we'd see things like that a lot, but in the air above us. Uh, and I swear, I saw Starlink before that was even conceived. I used to think it was a long line of helicopters, but you couldn't hear them from one horizon to the other. You'd see a blinking light, and a blinking light, and a blinking light, and a blinking light, and a blinking light. And I used to see this occasionally on summers. And it had to have been satellites, because I've seen Starlink since then. That's exactly what it looked like. And this was 79 or 80, somewhere around there. And I didn't even know they had that sort of thing then. I know they had a satellite, but a string of them networked like that all in a row.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I remember seeing satellites as a kid as well. Early '80s, being sleeping outside and being outside all the time, especially at night before there was a lot of street light pollution.
Yeah, it was, well, that's what a villa was like back then. There was nobody, there was nobody out there 10 miles from Benton's.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Milky Way every night.
Yeah, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I miss it. I mean, I wish you got to go somewhere out remote now to see it because there's so much light pollution. But with the string lights, I remember I never saw those. I spent so many summers. My buddy had a trampoline as a kid there in Utah, and we would sleep on the trampoline like all summer long. Every night we'd be looking at the satellites and we'd be seeing the stars. We'd be looking at the Milky Way, and I mean, just yeah, it's yeah. But I've never seen that. That's kind of cool though.
It. I don't know. It was odd. It was just odd. We saw a lot of things over the years, though. Just stuff. We had a mobile home that the front door and the back door was open on, and it was up in the woods. The one I grew up in, but it was for storage. At this point, we had already built another home, and I walk in, and there's a big cat curled up in a chair, and I walk up. I was like, "Oh, here, kitty, kitty, kitty." I was gonna pet it. It's a bobcat, and I had him cornered like 5 feet from him. Oh, and he's like looking at the door, and he's looking at me, and he's looking at the door. And I tried to go the opposite way, and he circled around me. And so he was trying to get to the door, but I was trying to get out of his way, and we were both going the same direction. You know, so, yeah, that scared me bad right there.
That would have scared me as well. Because bobcats
Yeah.
are, I mean, they're not real big, but they're vicious little bastards.
Oh yeah, man, they will dig a 1 inch slash in you, one
Real
inch
quick.
deep. My blurry dog's messing with me. I don't know what he wants.
I just saw his head just popped up at the bottom of the camera there. I saw that. If Nugget was out of his crate, he'd be like right here pawing at my leg, trying to get on.
But this guy's got to stop. He's got a prehensile tail. He just won't let go. Yeah, it's let's see. We've talked about UFOs and tree men.
Well, let's go to the tree men real quick. I'm kind of curious about that because I've got a guy, and he, saw something very similar to you in Ohio, and he started trying to catalog and do research into the shorter Bigfoots, is what he calls them. This the episode. It looked like an Ewok, and
Yeah, they look like an Ewok. Yeah,
easy. I mean, he's got a ton of recorded sightings from eyewitnesses stuff up in Ohio. So I'm going to have you be put on the map for him now.
I think there's a guy in Ohio. He did a video of like he's on his back porch and there's something jumping from tree to tree and snapping like big limbs off and throwing them at him and stuff. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It's obviously something huge. The whole tree is shaking. These are big trees too, and it's like pissed at him. It doesn't like him being on his back. Well, they built a big back porch, and ever since they built that porch, they're going nuts in the trees when he comes outside.
Yeah, he needs to get a spotlight put on it back there. Spotlight.
I
For
think
some
it's a
reason,
great
you get
idea.
spotlight. You can put spotlights or trail cams up, and they seem. I don't know what it's like. Anti Bigfoot repellent. They scatter,
They could probably sense the electronics.
which is a possibility. But there's not that much electronic being put out into a trail cam. Now, of course, it is. It's not naturally made. I mean, there's oils and stuff like that. It's plastic and everything being put together. Maybe they have a heightened sense of smell, and that's what stands out to them.
Yeah, man.
So, I mean, because on that one, I don't know. Okay, everybody goes, how come we don't have photos of them on trail cams? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah, there's I've seen people that's questionable to me. You see a guy, he's piled a bunch of trees up and made like a tree teepee, and he's like acts like he's wandered up on it. I've seen that a couple of times. So to me, a lot of them guys are just like the videos you see on Facebook or TikTok where they take a gold pan and just dump it in, and they've got a pound of gold in the bottom of it.
I know, shocking, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's I don't know what to do with that. But yeah, there's some things I've seen though other people do too that are scary. Uh just weird. And there was a Bigfoot hunter uh TV series, one of the first ones that was to make it, nationally. Uh where they were throwing rocks. It was throwing rocks at them.
I've had that.
Yeah, that's scary too, because they're big rocks.
Yes, it was a big ass rock, and it went over my head and landed behind me. And this was when I was stationed in Fort Hood, and I had seriously thought that one of my soldiers was messing with me behind me.
I remember you talking about that.
So, and I went on the hill and I grabbed him face to face, and I was like, "If this is you messing with me, I'm going to effing bury you in the effing." And that's when the log broke, and I realized he was crying at the same time, so it was not him. So,
Yeah,
but
that's a scary encounter. What I remember you talking about that on Patrick's podcast. Yeah, that's something else right there.
yeah, that's a night I will never forget, for as long as I live.
It's like those encounters that I've had. They're vivid. I will never forget them. And you have people like I told you about Patrick. He acts like he just doesn't believe me, like I'm making it up. And why would I make that up? That doesn't make any sense at all.
No, well, again, is not a shot at Patrick or anything, but if this is a creature that we've been told our whole entire life doesn't exist. Now, what's funny about that is the Native Americans talk about it, and other civilizations, ancient cultures talk about it, but for some reason, all of us have grown up and remember Bigfoot doesn't exist. So, okay, Bigfoot doesn't exist. What am I looking at? You're now seeing something that society, everybody, cultural, all the way across the board tells you should not exist. And there it is, staring at you. And as you said before, when you were walking through with the woods and you were in your mind, you're picturing a red flannel guy because you would picture somebody walking in the woods to be like a lumberjack. That's probably what your mind was trying to conjure up to safe it. Does that make sense? Our brains do really weird things to us. And on top of that, too, though, it may just be your perception going, okay, yeah, there's a lumberjack walking beside me when it wasn't a lumberjack.
It's just the flannel shirt is what stuck out in my mind. It was, and I really hadn't seen it at that point. I just knew it was there, and just peripherally sensed it, I guess, more than anything. But yeah, it's weird though. Why did my mind put a checkered pattern there? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a safe thing that our brains do. Because if we are, because if we can't comprehend what we're looking at, our brain's going to say something else. Prime example, I do think that I think more people have encountered these things, and their brain said, "No, that was a deer. No, that was a bear."
My brother now, and when we were kids, we'd talk about it. Now he totally it didn't. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep,
He just
that's
can't.
why
It's out of his memory for some reason.
he won't remember it. His brain, for a safety mechanism. In the military, guys would have a pretty scary firefight, pretty scary stuff, and boom, their brain will dump it, and it affects them in a really odd way. It's an odd PTSD, is what it is. When people have encounters, same thing with the paranormal, and I do think, like I said, there's a lot more cryptid sightings out there than people realize. And then you talk about the liger too, how it walked 150 miles with nobody seeing it. That happens all the time. I think Sasquatch is out there more than we know because we're not really paying attention.
Oh yeah, and there's getting to be less and less places for it to be.
Yes.
And so I think we just happened to disturb where these lived all these years, and then it came into the woods where there were woods at, because it didn't have no other place to be, and then probably they moved on and found a place.
Yeah,
But,
hopefully.
it was a while they were around, like for a good period of 5-6 years. We were sensing them and seeing them in the dark. Right when the first night they had clear cut up behind our house. That was wild. I mean, there was so many weird noises and a lot of animals that had a little bitty place of woods to be in. Now it really improved the squirrel hunt. We had so many squirrels out there at that time. Black squirrels too. They were tasty. Bunch of fox squirrels, but yeah, Lake Nora was an interesting place to grow up at. I always thought there was some kind of secret Air Force base out there in that area.
It's on my
I
list
can't.
now to go to.
Yeah, that was always interesting to me because of all the things we saw. Just weird stuff. But you'd see military helicopters out there in the early '80s, mostly
Well,
at night.
so you got to look at too where you're at. We got Little Rock Air Force Base. We got Camp Robinson that has, um, an air wing, a fixed, rotor wing, and then we have, the airport and the Air Force and the Army guys, the National Guard guys go there all the time, and they had their
Yeah,
helicopters
Benton
and
had an
everything.
airport at the time.
Yep. And so they would fly down, and Arkansas, is really good training area. There's a lot more little military camps in Arkansas than people realize. We had a POW camp in southern Arkansas.
Yeah, George Takei was in the one in western Arkansas.
Yeah, I know we had the one in the south. We had one out to the west. It was a Japanese internment one down south of us. I know that one. And then we had the one because even like Elvis went through here, through
Yeah, Elvis
Arkansas.
played Pine Bluff quite a bit, actually.
He was stationed out there at Fort Chaffee.
Oh, cool.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yep. Elvis was at Fort Chaffee. So we have our own little. Like I said, Arkansas is unique, and there's so many. There's so much.
See, when I joined the Navy at one time, didn't everybody have to come through Little Rock when you joined the military?
I think Little Rock was a big hub back in the day in the South.
Yeah, I know McVeigh was going to either hit this place in Little Rock or Oklahoma City, and he eventually chose Oklahoma City.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he robbed some people right down the street from my mother's house, actually, to fund that whole thing. Gun dealers
Wow.
on Geyer Springs Cutoff is where they were living. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I was at Riley when that went down. And that's where McVeigh had been stationed at. I was in 116 Infantry, and he had been stationed in 216 Infantry. So the media got a lot of things screwed up. And so if you watch some of the documentaries on it, they'll show the front of my orderly room, Alpha Company 116, when he's saying, yeah, Delta Company 216, and there's Alpha Company 116 on the screen. And then they had the big manhunt for John Doe number 2 was actually a buddy of mine.
Wow.
So him and another guy had rented a U-Haul same day McVeigh did. And so when the FBI came in and was, questioning the U-Haul place like anybody else, and all he could remember that day was my buddy. So the picture and everything, there's a tattoo that was right there on his sleeve that was, a little bit below that, and was a Playboy bunny tattoo that matched up perfectly with everything. So yeah, he was John Doe number 2. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, we all had to go to CID. We all, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. Sad.
Yeah.
So,
very sad time. Yeah.
It was.
It's scary.
It was. Well, real quick too, before we start recording, you were telling me about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, Little Doggy.
Yeah, tell everybody about that before we bring this in for a landing.
Well, so it's actually been it's a couple of years since I posted, but it had several different iterations. Started out, I was making mini bikes, and my goal was to only use tools I could buy at Harbor Freight, and any metal I used had to come from the little metal bin with angle iron and stuff at hardware stores that you see, like at Home Depot.
Yeah.
So I built several go-karts and mini bikes and things like that. I had a good friend, Patrick, introduced me to, actually, named Matt Gresham, who was another show legend. I was a show legend. A couple other people were from The Edge. They had this program that Patrick came up with where, we became show legends anyway. And Matt had a pit bull named Bo Jackson. And Matt had a a seizure, and Bo was his care dog, and Bo got paralyzed from his front paws back. So I built a doggy wheelchair for my YouTube channel, uh, and that's a big popular one that's on there. Uh, my most famous one is my award-winning chili. I've got 2 videos showing how to make my chili that I won at the chili cook-offs at the Edge with, and those actually used to pay me. Google used to pay me $100 a month for those.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. Now I've been demonetized since COVID for repeating things that Dr. Fauci said.
Yeah, don't do that here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch that. I'll have people go, and well, during 2020, we'll just leave it at that. Because there's a lot of shows. What's funny is they'll come in and they'll shut down. There's certain keywords you got to be real
Well, it was
careful on.
retroactive too. I'm talking 6 months after the video. They
But
kept
yeah,
striking. They kept striking old videos and saying it was disinformation, but it
yeah,
was literally word for word what the dude said.
I got banned a few times on Facebook from 2020. Like a couple of years ago, all of a sudden, they're like, you're banned for. I was like, what post? And it showed the date. It wouldn't show me the post, but it said like bullying or something. I was like, I am not a bully at all. And it was just a post that I had made. And yep.
I think when I started doing inspirational videos, because I would get down, and I knew I had a friend that was down, so I would just tell people to log in and tell you I love you and I care about you and I'm thinking about you, and I hope you have a great day, and life's a mountain and you're a mountain climber and you're climbing El Capitan and today's the day. Just make it to tomorrow. That's the main thing I tried to get people to realize.
I like that.
It, and try to talk him out of self harm because he was really thinking about it. I've done some stupid stuff in my life, and I can. I told him, told everybody. There's you know without a doubt that suicide is not what you want. If you're hanging from an extension cord, you know absolutely for a fact that's not what you want when that happens. So you tell everybody that tomorrow is full of wonder, and there's no telling what in the hell can happen tomorrow. So just get there somehow.
I love that. What a way to bring this in for a landing. I do. I love. I do an episode on September 10th of every year for suicide awareness and prevention. So
That's
I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
I am too. Man, there's nothing worse. I've had several friends that just ended up that way, and it's yeah, it's everybody else. It's everybody else that feels it.
Yep,
It's horrible.
it is. It is. So on that token, too, guys, reach out to somebody if you need any help. Shoot me a message. We'll talk. I have no problem talking. I do this all the time.
Yeah,
So
I got people that hit me up, and I don't even know who in the hell they are.
yeah, and I
But
don't
I'll
mind that
talk
one
to
bit.
them.
Yep. Shoot me a message, man. We'll talk. Sometimes I get busy, so don't give up on me, but we'll talk.
Yeah, look for Mike Woodall on Facebook if you need somebody to talk to.
Look at
Just
that.
shoot me a message.
As a matter of fact, he just posted he was coming on here to record earlier.
I like to brag.
I appreciate that, man.
When you're talking to famous people, you gotta let other people know about it.
I don't know who you're talking to famous on this show, but I'm glad you're talking to him. I'm still small time, and I like being small time. I mean, if I make it big, great. If I don't, great. I'm having a good time doing it. I mean, I know the direction I want to go with my show, and I know what I want it to do. And as of right now, that's what it's doing. I mean, I want to be able to get people to come on the show and share their experiences and their encounters because, as we were talking earlier, it does leave a little mark on you, and it is a vivid encounter. It's a vivid memory.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I was listening to one of my episodes earlier today. I had to go run some errands, and I had it on Spotify, and it just picked up in the Jeep. And I paused for listening. And, I like hearing my guests talk again. I like reliving their encounters, with them to try and keep their story going because at the end of the day, that's what we have left. And leave your legacy behind. And what a better way to do it than here? It's never going away. It's out there. They say once it's out on the internet, it's out there.
That's why my YouTube was the way it was. I just wanted a record for my great grandkids, and for my kids to look back and my grandkids to tell their kids this was your pappy. So there's a video diary of it, and
That's awesome.
and with me showing my ass, so and welding badly.
Well, Mike, thank you, brother, for coming on and sharing those encounters with us. That's really cool, though. I'm really fascinated by all this stuff. I need to go check this lake out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
So,
I appreciate that. It was really nice to meet you Sunday.
it was.
And, let's keep it going.
I'm in, man. You got me now. I mean, shoot, yeah, don't never be afraid to shoot me a message.
Hell yeah.
So this is what I do. All right. Well, everybody, congratulations for listening to another episode of the Drunken Cryptids. Thank you for sticking with me all the way through that. Thank you again to Mike for coming on and sharing that. That's crazy, guys. Well, we've had now 2 encounters coming in of these short little Ewok looking things. Me being a Star Wars fan that I am, no, I want to see one. So, except for I hated Ewoks. I'm not going to lie. I was not an Ewok fan as a kid, and I love my mom. And she bought me a Wicket stuffed animal for Christmas the year that Return of the Jedi came out, and it just sat on my bed. I was like, it's an Ewok. All right. But other than that, you guys, thank you again for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And until next time, here's the miss into good beer.
I can do anything that I want. I can do anything that I want now. I can do anything that I want. Hey, hey, if it is to be, you know that it's up to me. I'm headed to the front. I can be anything that I want. I can be anything that I want now. I can be